Anna Carter entered the world in a worn-out trailer parked on the outskirts of a small, forgotten town in rural Oklahoma. The paint on the trailer peeled away under the relentless sun, and its creaky doors groaned with age. Her family's existence was a constant battle against poverty, marked by the sound of her mother counting pennies late at night and her father patching up old shoes to make them last another season. Food stamps and occasional, unpredictable odd jobs were all that stood between them and hunger. The cupboards were often bare, and the hum of an empty refrigerator became a familiar background noise in their daily lives. As the eldest of 4 siblings, Anna bore the weight of responsibility far beyond her years. She learned to ration the little they had, often pretending she wasn't hungry so her younger siblings could have her portion. Her worn clothes, handed down too many times, were patched carefully by her mother, though Anna rarely complained. Nights were often filled with the cries of her baby brother or the whispered worries of her parents about unpaid bills. Despite this, Anna carried a quiet determination in her eyes, a hope that someday, somehow, she could carve out a better future not just for herself but for her family. Amid the relentless challenges of her daily life, Anna discovered an escape in the pages of borrowed library books. The local library, though modest and tucked away in the corner of town, became her sanctuary. Walking its creaky wooden floors, she would run her fingers over the spines of well-worn books, each one promising a world far removed from her own. It was there, sitting at a rickety table beneath the flickering light of a single overhead bulb, that she first stumbled upon a tattered copy of The Great Gatsby. The faded cover and dog-eared pages hinted at years of use, but to Anna, it was a treasure. She became mesmerized by the story of ambition, reinvention, and the pursuit of greatness, and something deep within her stirred. For the first time, she allowed herself to believe that life could hold more than what she had known. As she devoured the words, Anna began to imagine her own future, one where she could escape the confines of the trailer park and create a life filled with meaning and achievement. The novel painted a picture of the world beyond her small town, a world of possibilities waiting to be grasped. It wasn't just the grandeur or wealth that captivated her. It was the idea of transforming oneself through sheer will and determination. From that moment, she began to see her life not as a series of struggles, but as the foundation of a story yet to be written. Each book she read became another brick in the dream she was quietly building, fueling her resolve to rise above the hand she'd been dealt and reach for something extraordinary. When Anna's father was laid off from the factory, the weight of their family's survival seemed to fall squarely on her young shoulders. The news hit them like a storm, their already precarious financial situation spiraling into crisis. The factory, once the lifeblood of their small town, had shuttered its doors, leaving dozens of families adrift, including Anna's. With her father unable to find work and the bills piling up, Anna made the painful decision to leave school at just 16. Her dream of education, though temporarily set aside, refused to die. She secured a job at the only place in town hiring, a small, dimly lit diner where the smell of fried food clung to her clothes long after her shifts ended. Anna quickly learned the grueling reality of hard labor. She worked long hours on her feet, serving customers who barely noticed her and cleaning tables until her hands were raw. Yet, amidst the exhaustion, she clung to her dream like a lifeline. Late at night, when the diner's doors finally closed, she would count her tips in the quiet kitchen, slipping a few crumpled bills into a hidden envelope she kept under her mattress. Each dollar saved felt like a small victory, a step closer to reclaiming her education. She dreamed of one day returning to school, not just for herself, but for her family. The diner became both her battleground and her refuge, a place where she fought not only for survival, but for a future she could barely yet imagine. One quiet evening at the diner, Anna approached a corner table where an elderly man sat alone, sipping coffee and reading a worn hardcover. His name was Mr. Peterson, a retired professor who had recently moved to town. He seemed out of place among the usual crowd of tired workers and restless teenagers, and Anna, curious yet professional, struck up a conversation as she refilled his cup. Her quick wit and insightful remarks about the book he was reading, something she had borrowed once from the library, caught his attention. Intrigued, he asked her about her own life, and Anna, hesitant at first, opened up about her struggles and her dream of returning to school. Mr. Peterson listened intently, his thoughtful gaze fixed on her as if he saw potential even she couldn't yet recognize. From that day forward, Mr. Peterson became a regular at the diner, always choosing Anna's section and bringing her books he thought might inspire her. Each title came with a story, a lesson, or a gentle challenge to expand her thinking. He didn't just leave books. He left handwritten notes tucked inside the covers, filled with encouraging words and ideas that urged her to push past her current circumstances. Over time, their conversations deepened, and he began to share not just academic wisdom but life advice, reminding her that intelligence and determination were more powerful than any obstacle. His belief in her was unwavering, and for the first time, Anna felt seen, not as a waitress or a dropout, but as someone with potential and purpose. His mentorship became a beacon of hope, planting the seed of ambition that would eventually grow into a transformative journey. Working late-night shifts at the diner often felt monotonous and draining, but Anna found a rare sense of comfort in the company of Matt, a fellow employee. He was charming and full of humor, always finding ways to make her laugh during the most grueling hours. They bonded over shared dreams of escaping their small town, trading stories about the lives they hoped to build far away from the limitations of their current circumstances. Matt would talk about his love for music, scribbling lyrics on napkins during quiet moments, while Anna would share her aspirations of going back to school and creating a better life for her family. Together, they wove fantasies of a future that felt almost tangible when they were in each other's presence. But one morning, after another long shift, Matt was simply gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just an empty locker and the lingering scent of his cologne. Anna was devastated, left to grapple with the sudden void in her life. She had trusted him, confided in him, and now felt the weight of abandonment alongside her usual struggles. For weeks, she fought back tears, replaying their conversations and wondering why he had left without a word. Gradually, however, her heartbreak hardened into resolve. She realized that pinning her hopes on someone else had been a mistake. With a newfound determination, Anna vowed to focus solely on her own dreams, pouring her energy into her work and her secret savings. It was a painful but defining moment that strengthened her resolve to take control of her own future. Inspired by Mr. Peterson's unwavering belief in her potential, Anna decided to take a bold step and apply for a scholarship at the local community college. The application process was daunting. She had been out of school for years, and her confidence wavered as she wrote essays and gathered recommendations. Yet, with Mr. Peterson's guidance, she poured her heart into the application, sharing her story of perseverance and her dreams for a brighter future. Weeks later, the envelope arrived, a plain, unassuming package that carried life-changing news. She had been accepted and awarded a partial scholarship. It was a victory that brought tears to her eyes, a moment that symbolized the possibility of breaking free from the limitations of her past. However, the scholarship covered only a portion of her expenses, leaving a significant financial gap that threatened to derail her plans. Instead of feeling defeated, Anna tackled the challenge with determination. She juggled multiple part-time jobs, from bussing tables at the diner to working the early morning shift at a local bakery. Her days became a blur of relentless activity, waking before dawn and collapsing into bed late at night. Despite the grueling schedule, she found small moments of triumph in her ability to afford books, pay for transportation, and contribute to her family's needs. Each paycheck, though meager, represented another step toward her dream. Anna's unwavering commitment to her education became a testament to her resilience, proving that even the steepest obstacles could be overcome with hard work and determination. In her second semester of community college, just as Anna was beginning to find her rhythm, life threw another curveball. Her mother, who had always been the quiet anchor of their family, fell seriously ill. The diagnosis came suddenly, and the family was unprepared for the long hospital visits, mounting medical bills, and the emotional toll it took on everyone. For Anna, the added responsibility of caregiving became overwhelming. She would rush from her classes to the hospital, spending hours by her mother's bedside, then head straight to her part-time job before finally collapsing into a few hours of restless sleep. Her studies, once her refuge and source of hope, began to suffer. Assignments went unfinished, and her grades slipped below the requirements for her scholarship. The pressure was unbearable, and Anna often found herself questioning whether her dreams were worth the sacrifices. She felt stretched impossibly thin, her ambition clashing with the immediate needs of her family. There were moments when she came close to quitting entirely, the thought of failure looming over her like a shadow. Yet, even in the darkest times, a small voice inside her refused to let her give up. Her professors noticed her struggles and encouraged her to keep going, offering extensions and support where they could. It was an exhausting and uncertain period, but Anna clung to the belief that perseverance, no matter how painful, was the only path forward. Despite the setbacks, she resolved to fight for both her family and her future, determined not to let circumstances dictate her destiny. Amid her growing struggles, Anna's dedication did not go unnoticed. Dr. Eliza Moore, one of her professors, had been observing her tenacity and potential despite the clear challenges she faced. After class one day, Dr. Moore called Anna aside and offered her a position as a tutor on campus. The job, though modest, was a lifeline, one that allowed Anna to earn extra income while staying connected to her academic goals. Initially hesitant, Anna wasn't sure she was qualified to guide others, given her own struggles. But Dr. Moore, with her calm reassurance, convinced Anna that she was more capable than she realized. "You have a unique perspective, Anna," she said. "Your perseverance makes you someone students will not only learn from but be inspired by." The tutoring job became more than just a way to make ends meet. Under Dr. Moore's guidance, Anna began to develop skills she didn't know she possessed. Dr. Moore, who had a knack for seeing hidden strengths, taught Anna how to better manage her time, prioritize tasks, and set realistic goals. Slowly, Anna's confidence grew, and she discovered a natural talent for helping others understand complex concepts. The work, though challenging, brought her a sense of purpose and stability that had been missing. Dr. Moore's mentorship extended beyond academics. She encouraged Anna to believe in her worth and to see her struggles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. With each tutoring session and every word of encouragement, Anna found herself regaining the focus and determination she needed to keep moving forward. Anna's world was shaken when she discovered that her younger brother, Jason, had been stealing from her hard-earned savings. The realization came one evening when she noticed her hidden envelope of money was noticeably lighter. At first, she thought it was a mistake, but after carefully counting the remaining bills, her suspicions grew. Confronting Jason was one of the hardest things she'd ever done. She found him in their shared home, avoiding her gaze with a mix of shame and defiance. After pressing him for answers, he broke down and admitted he had been using the money to feed a growing drug addiction. The betrayal cut deep. Anna had worked tirelessly, sacrificing her own comfort to save for her education and support the family, only to see her trust shattered by someone she loved. Despite her anger and hurt, Anna couldn't turn her back on Jason. Their argument was heated, filled with accusations and tears, but it ended with Anna urging him to seek help. She made it clear that while she couldn't condone his actions, she wouldn't give up on him either. The strain on their relationship was palpable, creating a tense atmosphere at home, but Anna refused to let the betrayal derail her. She doubled down on her resolve, viewing this hardship as yet another obstacle to overcome rather than a reason to quit. The experience left her more guarded but also more determined. She took steps to safeguard her savings and continued pushing forward, driven by the belief that her success could one day provide a better future for Jason and the rest of her family. It was a painful chapter, but one that further strengthened her resilience and commitment to her goals. Anna almost didn't attend the college career fair. Juggling her classes, tutoring job, and family responsibilities left little time for extracurricular events, but something in her gut told her to go. As she wandered through the rows of booths, most filled with polished recruiters and well-dressed students, she felt out of place in her thrifted blazer and worn notebook. It was then that she stumbled upon James Fields, a tech entrepreneur whose small booth was tucked away in a quieter corner. He stood out from the others, not in a suit, but in a casual hoodie and jeans, exuding a relaxed confidence. Intrigued, Anna approached him, and their conversation quickly unfolded into something unexpected. James, fascinated by her story of perseverance, admired her grit and resourcefulness. He saw in Anna the kind of determination that couldn't be taught in a classroom. By the end of their conversation, James offered her a rare opportunity, an internship at his growing startup in Silicon Valley. The offer felt surreal, a chance to step into a world she had only read about. At first, Anna hesitated, overwhelmed by the idea of leaving her family and the familiar struggles behind. But James reassured her, emphasizing that her background was an asset, not a limitation. "People like you change industries," he told her. Buoyed by his confidence in her potential, Anna decided to take the leap. The internship was more than just a job. It was a doorway to a new life, one that promised challenges and growth far beyond what she had imagined. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, she accepted, stepping onto a path that would redefine her future. When Anna arrived in California, the sheer vibrancy of Silicon Valley was unlike anything she had ever known. The sleek skyscrapers, bustling streets, and constant hum of innovation seemed to move at a speed that left her breathless. Her new workplace, a minimalist office filled with glass walls and cutting-edge technology, felt like a different universe compared to the cozy, small-town diner she had worked at. Her colleagues, with their designer clothes, expensive gadgets, and polished educations, spoke confidently about ideas and experiences that seemed worlds away from her own. Anna found herself retreating into silence during meetings, intimidated by the jargon and the effortless ease with which others navigated their tasks. As the weeks passed, Anna's confidence began to waver. She started to question whether she truly belonged in such an elite environment. The imposter syndrome crept in slowly but surely, whispering doubts into her mind. She worried that her colleagues saw her as inexperienced or out of her depth, and the fear of failure loomed large. Every small mistake felt magnified, every moment of hesitation a glaring sign of her inadequacy. Yet, even amidst the overwhelming self-doubt, Anna reminded herself why she had taken this leap. She carried with her not just her ambitions but the hopes of her family and the lessons from her struggles. Though the fast-paced lifestyle of Silicon Valley made her feel like an outsider, it also fueled her determination to adapt and prove that she was capable of thriving in this new world. In the early weeks of her internship, Anna faced a steep learning curve. The project she was assigned seemed insurmountable at first, a complex software feature with tight deadlines and high expectations. Her initial attempts were met with polite but critical feedback from her team, leaving her frustrated and questioning her abilities. Still, Anna refused to back down. She spent late nights at her desk, poring over technical manuals, teaching herself new skills, and experimenting with solutions. Slowly but surely, she began to piece together the puzzle. Her determination didn't go unnoticed. A senior team member offered guidance, impressed by her work ethic and willingness to learn. Step by step, she overcame the hurdles, transforming what had once seemed impossible into a functioning and innovative solution. When the project was finally presented to the team, it received an overwhelmingly positive response. Her colleagues, many of whom had initially doubted her, praised her creativity and perseverance. Even her manager, someone notoriously hard to impress, acknowledged her efforts in a company-wide meeting. For the first time, Anna felt the weight of her self-doubt begin to lift. She wasn't just surviving in Silicon Valley, she was thriving. That moment marked a turning point not only in her internship but in her entire outlook. She began to see herself as someone who truly belonged in the tech world, capable of making meaningful contributions. The project became a symbol of her ability to adapt and succeed, serving as a foundation for her growing confidence and ambition in her career. Back in her small hometown, life for Anna's family grew increasingly difficult in her absence. Her siblings, especially Jason, struggled to stay on track without her steadying influence. Bills piled up faster than her father's sporadic earnings could cover, and her youngest sister often called, tearfully recounting stories of their financial hardships. Anna's mother, still recovering from her illness, tried to hold things together, but the strain was palpable in every phone call. Each update from home left Anna with a gnawing sense of guilt, as if her pursuit of a better life had come at the expense of her family's stability. She couldn't shake the image of her siblings huddled in the drafty trailer, the same one she had worked so hard to escape. Unable to ignore their struggles, Anna made the difficult decision to send most of her earnings home. Her internship stipend, already modest by Silicon Valley standards, was stretched to its limits as she prioritized her family's needs over her own. The financial sacrifice meant giving up small comforts, like eating out or upgrading her outdated laptop. Her sparse apartment, with its second-hand furniture and bare walls, reflected the choices she had made. Though it left her with little to spare, Anna never questioned her decision. Helping her family stay afloat was her way of staying connected to them, of showing that she hadn't forgotten where she came from. While it wasn't easy, the act of supporting them gave her a renewed sense of purpose, reminding her why she had embarked on this journey in the first place. At a bustling networking event filled with ambitious professionals and eager entrepreneurs, Anna was taken aback when she spotted a familiar face in the crowd mat. He looked different, older, and more worn, with a guitar slung over his shoulder instead of the easy charm he once carried. Seeing him after all those years stirred a mix of emotions within her: anger, hurt, and an unexpected wave of nostalgia. Matt, noticing her, hesitated before approaching, his expression a blend of relief and apprehension. When he finally spoke, his voice carried the weight of regret as he explained how life had taken a toll on him since leaving their small town. He admitted his mistakes, including abandoning her without a word, and apologized for the pain he had caused. Though Anna was wary, she found herself agreeing to sit down with him, driven by curiosity and a lingering connection to their shared past. Over coffee, Matt opened up about his struggles as a musician, detailing the setbacks and hard lessons he had faced while chasing his dreams. His honesty and vulnerability disarmed her, and she began to see glimpses of the person she had once cared for beneath the layers of regret. Their conversation was filled with laughter, awkward pauses, and moments of unexpected warmth, reminding them both of the bond they had shared. While Anna wasn't ready to fully trust him again, she decided to take a small step forward, offering him a chance to rebuild their connection. Their reunion marked the beginning of a cautious friendship, one rooted in mutual understanding and the hope of healing old wounds. Anna's natural creativity and relentless drive didn't go unnoticed by James Fields, the founder of the startup where she worked. During a brainstorming session for a critical project, Anna proposed an unconventional solution that combined technical innovation with a deep understanding of user behavior. While others hesitated to deviate from traditional approaches, Anna's idea was bold, efficient, and well-reasoned. Her confidence in presenting her concept won over the team, and when the project launched successfully, it exceeded all expectations. James, impressed not only by her ideas but also by her ability to execute them under pressure, began to see Anna as a rising star in the company. Recognizing her potential, James promoted Anna to a key role that involved greater responsibility and visibility. The promotion marked a turning point in her career, granting her the opportunity to lead projects and mentor junior team members. As her contributions grew, so did her reputation. Articles began circulating in tech blogs about the self-made innovator who was breaking barriers in Silicon Valley. With her increasing financial stability, Anna was able to balance supporting her family back home while finally allowing herself small indulgences, like upgrading her tools and investing in her personal growth. Despite her newfound success, Anna remained grounded, driven not by fame but by the desire to use her skills to make meaningful contributions to her field and to those who had once inspired her. As Anna's career soared, the demands of her role grew heavier with each passing day. Late nights at the office, back-to-back meetings, and the pressure to consistently deliver innovative results left her physically and emotionally drained. Her once thriving energy began to dwindle, replaced by an overwhelming sense of exhaustion. Burnout crept into every corner of her life, leaving little room for anything outside work. Her family, back in Oklahoma, began to feel the distance more acutely. Phone calls grew infrequent, and when she did manage to check in, her conversations were hurried and distracted. Her siblings, especially Jason, expressed frustration, accusing her of forgetting where she came from. The guilt weighed heavily on her, but she struggled to find the time or energy to bridge the growing gap. One evening, sitting alone in her sparsely furnished apartment, Anna found herself overwhelmed by doubts. The achievements that had once brought her pride now felt hollow. Her family, the very reason she had fought so hard to succeed, seemed further away than ever, both physically and emotionally. She questioned the sacrifices she had made, missing family milestones, losing touch with the people who mattered most, all in pursuit of a dream that now felt isolating. The loneliness of her success was stark, the silence in her apartment deafening. For the first time in years, she wondered if her climb to the top had come at too great a cost. It was a moment of raw vulnerability, forcing Anna to confront not just her burnout, but the deeper question of what truly mattered in her life. After weeks of soul-searching, Anna realized that her achievements meant little without the love and connection of her family. On a rare free weekend, she packed her bags and boarded a flight back to Oklahoma, her heart heavy with both anticipation and anxiety. As she approached the familiar trailer park, memories of her childhood flooded back, mingling with the guilt of having distanced herself from the people who had shaped her. When she walked through the door, the initial silence was heavy, but it quickly dissolved into a wave of emotion. Her mother, now healthier but visibly older, embraced her tightly, tears streaming down her face. Her younger siblings, though hesitant at first, eventually warmed up, their shared laughter a balm to Anna's aching heart. The most difficult reunion, however, was with Jason. They met in the quiet of the backyard, where he nervously fidgeted, avoiding her gaze. Jason had entered rehab months earlier and was on the road to recovery, but the weight of their estranged relationship lingered between them. Anna spoke first, apologizing for her absence and expressing her pride in his efforts to turn his life around. Jason, in turn, admitted his own guilt and acknowledged the pain he had caused. Their conversation was raw and honest, filled with tears and tentative smiles. By the end, they shared a heartfelt hug, a silent promise to rebuild their bond. Anna vowed to be more present, not just with words but with actions, determined to strike a balance between her ambitious career and the family who had always been her foundation. Anna's journey had taught her the transformative power of opportunity, and she couldn't ignore the fact that so many young people, especially those in rural communities like the one she came from, lacked access to the resources that could change their lives. With her newfound financial stability and professional influence, Anna decided to take action. She launched a foundation aimed at supporting underprivileged students, providing scholarships, mentorship programs, and access to technology. Naming the foundation the Rising Star Initiative, she poured her heart into its mission, determined to create a pathway for others to achieve what once seemed impossible to her. She worked tirelessly to ensure the foundation didn't just give financial aid, but also offered practical tools and encouragement to help students believe in their potential. Word of Anna's efforts spread quickly, and soon, she became a symbol of hope for countless young people who saw their own struggles reflected in her story. She frequently visited schools in underserved areas, sharing her journey with candor and warmth. Her speeches weren't just about success but also about resilience. The countless moments of doubt, failure, and determination that shaped her path. Anna's authenticity resonated deeply, inspiring students to dream big and work hard, no matter their circumstances. Her foundation grew, attracting partnerships and funding that allowed it to reach even more communities. Through her work, Anna not only changed individual lives, but also became a living testament to the idea that a single person's determination could ripple outward, creating opportunities for an entire generation. As Anna's career reached new heights, she felt an undeniable pull to create something that reflected her own values and vision. The corporate world had taught her invaluable lessons, but she yearned for a deeper purpose. Taking a bold leap of faith, Anna left her comfortable role and launched her own tech company, one centered on innovation with a social impact. Her company's mission was clear: to develop technologies that addressed real-world challenges, particularly in education and community development. It was a risky move, venturing out on her own, but Anna believed in the power of using technology to create meaningful change. The early days were filled with uncertainty, long hours, and endless problem-solving, but Anna thrived on the challenge, knowing she was building something truly meaningful. During this transformative period, her relationship with Matt also took on new depth. Having rekindled their connection, they began supporting one another in ways they never had before. Matt, now pursuing his music career with renewed focus, often shared his progress and setbacks with Anna, and she did the same with her entrepreneurial journey. Their late-night conversations became a source of strength and inspiration, as they encouraged each other to persevere despite their respective challenges. Anna found comfort in Matt's unwavering belief in her, and in turn, she became his biggest cheerleader, attending his performances and celebrating his successes. Together, they discovered the beauty of a partnership built on shared dreams and mutual respect, both determined to leave their own marks on the world while lifting each other up along the way. Years later, Anna stood on a brightly lit stage, the focal point of a global conference attended by some of the most influential figures in technology and innovation. The room was filled with a sea of faces, each looking to her with anticipation and admiration. As the applause subsided and the spotlight settled on her, Anna paused, her gaze sweeping across the crowd. The moment felt surreal. She, a woman who once doubted her place in any room, now stood as a symbol of possibility and perseverance. Adjusting the microphone, Anna began to speak, her voice steady but filled with emotion. She didn't begin with her achievements or accolades. Instead, she spoke of the trailer park in Oklahoma where her dreams first took root, her voice softening as she described the struggles and sacrifices that shaped her. As she shared her journey, Anna reflected on the pivotal moments: the nights spent waiting tables, the mentorship of Mr. Peterson, the heartbreaks, and the victories that defined her path. She spoke of the people who believed in her when she couldn't believe in herself, the importance of family, and the lessons she learned about resilience and kindness. Her words resonated deeply with the audience, not because of their grandeur but because of their authenticity. Anna's story was proof that no circumstance, no matter how dire, could extinguish a determined spirit. As she concluded her speech, she looked out at the standing ovation, her heart swelling with gratitude. This wasn't just her success. It was a testament to everyone who had ever dared to dream, reminding them that even the most challenging beginnings could lead to the stars.